Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Doyes, and welcome back to Sky Factory 3. In the last episode, we spent all episode trying to get this guy. It took a little bit of time just because of, well, the acceleration one not working how I thought it would work to make the water essence grow faster, and all that kind of sort of stuff. So, yeah, we worked really hard to get the coke oven, and the main reason is so that we can make cloches. Now, in the previous episode, we were setting up our auto crafting. I decided to go ahead and move the pattern grid and the processing pattern encoder down here, since this version of Refined Storage doesn't have any sort of crafter interface, I don't even know what to call it. Like, the only crafting grid we have is this guy, not that one, this guy, which just tells us what's being currently crafted. And doesn't necessarily let us like see what's inside these guys. So that's kind of what I want to focus on, and just having this down here is going to make that a little bit easier. As things fill up, we can just make more, and I can easily put everything down there. So just a little bit of an aside, we are actually going to go ahead and use this immediately. So the thing I want to teach the system how to make is vibrant capacitor banks. The reason being is because we're going to need a good bit of power. And, well, it makes sense to go ahead and, well, get one of these guys up and running. So, before we do anything, we do have 2 capacitor banks upstairs that we can turn into 1 vibrant. So let's teach the system how to make a couple of these things. Vibrant alloy nuggets should be created, as well as we already know how to make octadic capacitors, but then the crystal thing, what is this called? The vibrant crystal. And then do we know how to make electrical steel? And this is the advantage. We do not know how to make electrical steel, but that's in here. So Ore Dictionary is fine. Cool. So we put that in there. And we can clear that out, and then we can teach the system how to make this. So that should be everything we need. Now we can go ahead, we're going to want to tell it to make one of these guys. We need emeralds. How do we not have emeralds? Oh, I bet they're in block form. So let's look at emeralds and do that, just to make sure. We're going to have a lot of recipes like that as we go, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So in order to upgrade these 2, because we need... Okay, so here's my idea. Because this guy only works during the day, he seems to have enough power for our entire base, which is fine for now. We're going to need to upgrade that soon. We're going to need to get a couple of things upgraded in the nearish future. But this guy seems to be good for now. We just need to kind of, well, increase the capacity of this so that we can use more power during the night. So let's use 2 capacitor banks. Now we can make one of them. So if we look up the capacitor bank, we can go ahead and make that. Let's go ahead and make 2 of these guys though. So that'll be fine. We're going to want some vibrant alloy. And we're going to want the vibrant crystal. So that'll be fine. And that'll get us access to this recipe of the vibrant capacitor once we have everything. So crafting monitor will tell us when things are processing and whatnot. So it's got to do a lot, but we'll get there. So in the meantime, we need to make a garden cloche. And you know what? This might also be something good to teach the system how to make. But we're going to need more patterns. But that should be fine. We should know how to make patterns. And can we make like 20 of those? Well, we certainly can. We have plenty of iron now and everything like that, so should be fine. So we need to make these lanterns. And to do that, we're going to need stained glass. And that is pretty easy. We know how to make glass already. because that is actually in here because it is a craftable. It should be part of this. Yep. So we can just put stained glass, the glass panes in there. And then we can start looking at, once we have a couple more patterns, we're going to need to teach the system how to make glowstone because we're not wait, no, it already knows how to make that. Never mind. And then iron plates. We're eventually going to want to do a metal press, but for now we can teach it this recipe and just throw the hammer in there. And you know what, just to be safe, we'll tell the system also how to make the hammer. So with that, we should be able to make the lanterns. And then with that, the iron mechanical pieces. Treated wood we can actually teach the system later because it can learn how to work with, well, the liquids. We can set that up if we want to. And then that. So that is everything we need to know how to make. And our crafters are going to be running out of space very soon. But now all we need to do is, if we grab, we should have a bucket or 3. That should allow us to make like 3 garden cloches. So before we do anything, let's go ahead and get our vibrant capacitor bank. So we are still missing a little bit of stuff. It's still making another octadic capacitor. It's going to take a while. In fact, let's tell it to make, actually let's just take this one. Let's tell it to make like 2 more of these. We are missing ender pearls. Ooh. Now that's something I didn't really consider. So let's go ahead and just throw that in there. That'll speed up the process a bit. And we need a couple more ender pearls. That is somewhat shocking, to be honest. We have a few in here. Alright, that'll work. That'll be good. And I've been collecting all of the loot bags again. Relatively soon, that is going to be something else we're going to start working towards, is getting access to plenty of the mob drops and automation with that. So we have one. Let's go ahead and grab this guy and grab some creosote oil. Is it called creosote oil or is it just creosote? It is creosote oil. Awesome. So we can grab all this out of here and we'll just let that fill up for the time being. And we can start looking at making... We have lava chicken. Awesome. Okay. Everybody but go back. We're gonna get our lava chicken. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a lot of stuff in here. We have plenty of feathers. But eventually what we're going to have is a lot of garden cloches, so we want to be able to automatically make them. And we're going to set up the mob farm relatively soon. That is kind of next order of business after we get a little bit more done. And speaking of being a little bit more done, let's come down here. And let's see, we should have, so I made 2. We should be able to upgrade this guy. And I want to teach the system how to make the flux points. So this is what receives energy from the flux networks. So we'll make that. And we also don't know how to make the flux cores. So these guys are made like so. Unfortunately, there's not another way to get those. And let's see, we're going to need to teach it these, as well as a smelting recipe. So I know redstone blocks turn into, let's see what we can do with this. So if we smelt redstone blocks, we get flux blocks, and those are used for flux plugs, but that's it. Okay, fair enough. So we're gonna take a piece of redstone. So we know how to. Why is redstone here? Redstone is craftable from a block. Okay, so pattern, we're gonna do that. I don't even need redstone. That's something I need to remember about. That's one of the nicest things about refined storage, is you don't actually need to have the items to make the patterns. It pulls it straight from NEI, and it's really quite smart about it. So we don't need redstone. Alright, so Vibrant Capacitor Bank. Can we upgrade that? We're going to need Vibrant Alloy times 3. So that will get to work. And I won't worry about making another Vibrant Capacitor for the time being. But it is something that we'll probably want to have at some point. We only have one of those, don't we? So we're going to need another Capacitor Bank. Ugh, that's more work than I thought. Which is fine. So once we have Capacitor Bank, we're going to need one of these. So we're going to need 4 double layers, which are a lot cheaper. No ender pearls, namely. We're going to need electrical steel times 4. And that's it. So capacitor banks are much easier to make. Alright, so let's go ahead and I want to take a look at mystical agriculture. That is something else that we're probably going to need another clipboard for. Or we could use the same one, to be honest. Actually, I had issues with that, so probably don't want to do that. But we're going to make some more mystical agriculture stuff. And a big part of that is going to be getting the mob farm up and running kind of effectively so that we can get plenty of Infernium essence. But let's see if we can't do anything with this stuff. So can we make Magenta Chickens? How do we make Magenta Chickens? Pink and purple. We have pink. Do we have purple? We do. So pink and purple. Can either of these be used for anything else? No. So let's just get this one over with. So right here is Mr. Purple Chicken. And the pink chicken is right here. Cool. So this will give us Magenta Chicken. That will just take a little bit of time. It'll be fine. But yeah, we're going to want to make a bunch of mystical agriculture seeds. We have nether seeds. So let's look at seeds. And like eventually we're going to want stuff like vibrant alloy seeds, but that is a pretty long ways off. So what are some things we could probably get? Let's look at tier 1. Okay, so stone, dirt, nature, wood, water, ice, zombie. And mob chunks are always a pain to get because they require you to make certain things. But I don't think we want to do that. So what's tier 2? Anything good here? Fire, dye, nether, all the animals, mystical flower. You know what? This is probably something we're going to want. Marble limestone. Ooh, we can make pretty blocks. So let's see. Let's get let's go look for a second. I want to see how are we doing on redstone. Because redstone is something that we'll probably want a good bit of. Also, can we go ahead and make the capacitor bank? We certainly can. Can make the vibrant. Wrong recipe. Alright, all we have to do is pick this guy up. Oh, come on. Let's grab him. We're running out of power. And there we go. We have a vibrant capacitor now. And if we sleep, that should fill up a lot better. And eventually, like I said, we'll have an area just for power. I need to build more than anything else in this series, so currently anyways. So that's going to be something we'll deal with later. Let's go ahead and put those in. And cloches. Can we make like 3 of these? We're missing wood. Well, that means that the system doesn't know how to make wood. Let's remedy that. So if we look at, let's get planks. Let's just get oak wood planks and do that. Actually, or dictionary it. I think we actually have to clear it. So shift right clicking clears it. And there we go. So that's one that we want or dictionary because it doesn't actually matter. So can we now make 3 garden cloches? We can. Awesome. So it will start crafting and we have 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. So garden cloches are like one of my favorite items in like ever. These things are so amazing. And you know what? Let's get a flux point. We're missing obsidian and okay. Fair enough. So this is something we're probably gonna want to automate a little bit. So obsidian we can handle. Obsidian is just a matter of getting, it's ender pearls that's a pain. What are some good ways to get ender pearls? There is enderman essence, but that's going to require enderman chunks, which is a 15% drop chance from any mob. Really, we can get zombie chunks are 30%. They're craftable, but tier 1 mob chunks aren't. So that's weird. So we can't really do that method yet. There is ender pearl chickens, but we're not quite there yet with the chickens. Alright, the dragon eye. We can make a few more with the dragon's eye. So we just need a bucket. Bucket. Let's grab the dragon eyes that we've collected so far. We have 4 of them. Don't know that they're used for much else, but we can go ahead and just pop them in here. And we're going to need a little bit of obsidian. But now we have access to garden cloches, which is kind of amazing. So there's 1 obsidian. Let's grab some water. 2. I think we needed 4. Come on. There we go. Alright, so with that taken care of, we should be able to, whoops, that doesn't go in there. We should be able to make a flux point. And that should not take long at all. And then we'll want some conduits so that we can move power around. And we can start looking at getting various seeds growing to get a ton of stuff. So something else we're probably going to want to do is, do we have any chests? We do. Okay, let's grab a bit of wood, and we're going to do 3 drawers. They're spruce, it doesn't matter really. And then we're going to need some conduits. We're going to need power conduits, and we might need item conduits, but we're also going to need fluid conduits. And this is the hard part. So fluid conduits, pressurized are usually better than non-pressurized, but it doesn't really matter. So we just need some quite clear glass, which is sand in the alloy smelter. And if we just make a little bit of this, or we could do the quartz. Fuse quartz. Let's actually teach the system how to make fuse quartz. So this stuff is, I want to make 1 at a time. There we go. And that goes in there. Perfect. Cool. So that's really all we need to do. let's get fuse quartz times 3. And that will give us enough fluid conduits for the immediate future. Eventually we'll teach it how to make the good ender fluid conduits. These things are really powerful. For most general uses, the pressurized will do fine. So we need to do a couple of things. So first of all, that is grabbing water. So for the time being, let's go ahead and put these guys here. Now these guys are all going to require water. And we can do something like this. Does that connect? No. Alright, so we'll just put a tank right there of some sort. And these will be inserts. And that will give us water. So for these guys to work, they need 3 things. They need water, and then they also need the seeds and whatever dirt. So we can do something like this. Let's grab... We need some sort of wrench. Let's go grab like a Yeta wrench or something. I'm sure we have one lying around. Yeah, we have a Yeta wrench. Yeta wrenches are weird for me. And then we're going to need a tank of some sort. I guess we'll just use a normal fluid tank. We just need a piece of glass. So that will take all of like a second, right? Come on. There we go. And there's a fluid tank. So this will allow us to collect the water. And then this will be extract, always active, and these guys will fill up with water. Perfect. So we just remove those connections. Extract, always active, and then all these will be inserts. I know you can do this with the wrench, but I'm terrible with the Yeta wrench. I've never really used it much, so I don't know what I'm doing with it. So we can take the Infernium Essence, and in fact, let's take this and upgrade it. So we can upgrade it to the next tier with Prudentium Essence. And there's an Enderman. Perfect. We need to kill them. So this is tier 2, tiers 2 seeds. So our contraption, our ender tether isn't constantly working, but that's fine. It's whatever for right now. So can we upgrade this more? Intermedium. So we need one more of these. Let's just take all of our essence, and we're going to get this as high as we can. And the reason is, it's going to make my life a lot easier later. And plus, I do believe we can change these back. So it's not that big of a deal if we run out of things. We can always get the lesser essence if need be. So do we have enough? No, of course not. Alright, well that's fine. So let's put this stuff away. We're going to need to make the better infusion crystal eventually, but we have a tier 3 Infernium Essence seed. So let's go ahead and pick up this water. Pick up all this stuff. I want to F7 just because I have a feeling that torch was probably important. Let's grab the fertilized dirt. Now I don't know that it matters if the dirt is fertilized or not. We can also grab the nether wart. But this is how we're going to eventually have our entire, like, how do I want to say it? Our entire farm for the, what am I trying to say? The entire farm for our mystical agriculture is going to be garden cloches. So last thing we need to do is set up power. This is pretty easy because these do require power, but we have flux points. So we just put this like so and select network, main power, and these are all now working. So they should Yeah, it was just a visual bug. It wasn't working, but it is. So we can put dirt in here, Infernium Essence, and these things will grow incredibly fast. So let's get all 3 of these done. And then the question is there any other seeds that we're going to want? Dirt seeds would actually be really nice. So let's go ahead and put dirt seeds in this one. And since we already have dirt essence, we can just do this. And then eventually what we can do... Are these not growing? Okay, do they not grow with... Ooh, that was close. Maybe they don't want the fertilized dirt. Maybe they just need normal dirt. Fertilized dirt is going to be great for the normal crop farms, so that's fine. But we have... Okay, the dirt's in here. 1, 2, 3. This should work. I really hope it works. I love the Garden Cloches. They are one of my favorite items in the immersive engineering. Oops, don't grow on the achievement book. There they go. So now they are growing, and they will grow very, very quickly. We also get more seeds. What? Is that actually supposed to happen? So why is it not extracting the essence? Because that should be where it extracts from. Always active. Let's grab a... Let's just grab this guy for a second. And if we put him here... Is that the problem? No. So... I think, actually... Haha, we can just put it in front. You don't actually need to have anything else. But what we'll probably end up doing is setting up filters and all sorts of cool little things so that we can easily kind of... Because I wasn't expecting having the seeds show up again. So we're going to get a ton of these seeds. And so what we can do, let's take a couple of these. We're going to need the seed reprocessor, which requires Infernium Tier 2, and some other things. So this is something we're going to probably want to have. It doesn't need any power. That's really nice. So we can have a couple of those, and what we can do is essentially... We'll have I don't know how we're gonna do this yet. We can have like a chest in front of each of them, or we could have multiple drawers. Or I really wish the conduits worked like I was hoping they would, because this will eventually fill up, and that will be bad. But what we can do, let's go ahead and just put nether seeds in the other one. That'll be fine. But then what we can eventually do is set it up so that it takes all the excess seeds that we're going to get and puts them into the seed reprocessor, have an array of those if we need to, and yeah, then we don't have to worry about things like this filling up. So it's just a matter of figuring out the best way to get the seeds out. That does connect. If I move it over here, we're gonna disable that connection, and we're going to extract always active, insert. Are we going to get anything out of that? No. That doesn't connect. So that's an insert. And I think that's for the dirt. So let's go grab a normal chest. I want to see if this will work. This is just experimentation. The Garden Cloches seem to be weird sometimes. So we don't need this stuff anymore. We don't need that. And all in all, this is going to allow us to hopefully make a really cool farm where we're going to be getting all the essence, and our system will know about it because we can do some fancy stuff. So let's break this guy for right now. I'm going to put a chest here. And I want to see if we put stuff like this. Extract, always active. Insert. We get everything pulled out. Disable that. No. Why is it not pulling things out like it should? Because if we put a chest here, it immediately drops it all in. So it needs a connected inventory. So I need to figure out the best way to handle that, so that we don't fill up on seeds. So that's something I will try to figure out. I don't really want to do chests because that seems like a really wasteful, well, it just seems really wasteful. So there's got to be some other... I have an idea. Do we not have any more transfer nodes items? Well, we have a couple right here that we're not currently using. So let's try this once again. Again, we'll break this guy. And let's put a chest here. And if we do that, put the chest right here. It's not pulling the items out either. What the heck? Because the sides, I don't know what the sides are for. I think the sides are for fertilizer, actually. So, is there any other item transfer anythings in this mod pack? I'll have to figure that out. That's the only thing that's actually a concern at this point. But otherwise, it should not be a problem. So we can always just put a drawer, but I need to get the seeds out automatically. That's the only issue. So I will figure something out. I might go look to see what other people have done, that type of thing. But I'll try to figure something out. I really don't want to use just normal chest. We'd have to alternate them, and that'd be a pain too. Plus then I want to, kind of my idea is we're going to have a little bit of a building for all this stuff, and it's going to lead to a wall of drawers that will then just be connected to our system with a storage bus. External storage, I believe, is what we'd want. So where over here with this guy, we have a wire running underneath here that is connected to a importer. So it imports all the items from here. What we'll want for the essence is not an importer, but rather a just a storage bus. So basically saying this is a container you can store things in. And we'll have it all set up so that it's only going to be the essence, and we'll have seed processors and all that kind of fun stuff. So something I need to figure out, but it will be fine once we do. So I think that is going to be it for today's episode. We didn't do all that much, but getting the Garden Cloches is super duper important. And oh my gosh, the lava chicken looks really cool. Alright, you go in there. We now have a lava chicken. Lava chicken. Alright, so I am going to continue working with the chickens, and I will probably... Ooh, Magenta Chicken. So you guys are done. I will probably start looking into making another clipboard so that I can get all of the information on the mystical crops, so we can get all of those seeds, and we can have a checklist for those. And then, yeah, pretty much I need to build. So normal farms are going to go down there. We'll have a building up here that will just be for all of this. We'll have a nice water source. Ender.io has a good source of water for that, as well as controllers and all that kind of fun stuff. So should be nice and easy. Should be pretty simple once we get to that point. It's just a matter of getting to that point. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know we didn't do all that much, but in the coming episodes, I think one of the next things we're going to work on is the mob farm and getting automation with that, and getting items with that as well. And then, yeah, going from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!